In my jungle-style ecosystem tank, life has been thriving. The plants are lush, the shrimp are busy, and the guppies, they've taken over. What started as a few peaceful fish has turned into a population boom. And while I love watching guppy fry, dart through the plants, it's clear. Balance needs to be restored. So today, I'm introducing a new predator to the tank. A tiny predator with a big job. We of course have to check whether they've survived the transport. And while the first of the two, I call him Mr. Krabs, survived, not everything went as hoped. The second little crayfish didn't do well during the transport. Or maybe he was already injured at the pet store. He's lying on his back, missing several legs, and is barely moving. Crayfish rely on all of their legs for balance and coordination, and without them, even flipping over becomes a struggle. It's heartbreaking to see him like this, and I'm not sure if he's going to make it. I grab a long wooden stick and gently nudge him, just to see if there's any reaction. I've started calling him Larry Lobster, even though he's a crayfish and not a lobster. At first, he barely moves, just a twitch here and there, but slowly, with a little help, he manages to flip over. It's a small victory, but in a moment like this, it feels huge. With Larry Lobster back on his legs, it's time to start acclimating both of them to their new home. It's a slow process, about 1.5 hours, so I want to make it as comfortable for the two of them as possible. I add a big patch of floating plants and algae into their transport container. It gives them something familiar to hold on to, with a little snack to nibble on while they wait. Every few minutes, I pour a little bit of tank water into their transport container, slowly and gently, letting them adjust to the new temperature, the hardness of the water, and the pH level. It's like giving them a tiny sips of their future home. They've probably never seen this many plants before. Roots hanging like vines, light dancing through the leaves. It must feel like being dropped into an underwater jungle for them. I gently lift out the patch of floating plants, and there he is, Larry Lobster, clinging to the greenery like it's a life raft for him. Carefully, I lower him into the tank, and he drifts down slowly, landing softly on the canopy of a stem plant. For a moment, he just sits there, nibbling at the fine leaves of one of the plants. He's trying to make sense of this vast and familiar world. Then, a guppy, a medium-sized female, swims up to investigate. Probably this is the largest creature Larry's ever seen, because in his tank in the pet store there were only other dwarf crayfish. He panics and drops down to the substrate of the tank. Immediately, a group of antler's guppies rush in, mistaking him for food. But Larry's quick. He bolts into the plants and vanishes between the stems like a tiny orange ghost. Watching Larry move through the tank is honestly quite hard. He's lost all of his legs on one side of his body and it shows. Then it's time for Mr. Krabs, the second crayfish. From the moment he hits the water, it's clear. He's in better shape, agile, alert, and full of energy. Again, I'm using the same technique to get Mr. Krabs out of the transport container and add him into the fish tank. You can see he's directly jumping into the water and is eager to explore this new world. Within seconds, he's exploring the tank with confidence, no hiding and no hesitation. But then, something changes, a sudden burst of motion. Did something attack Mr. Krabs, or did he go after something himself? A closer look reveals what really happened. Mr. Krabs got into a fight with one of the older guppy males. A larger fish, but weak and slow, and clearly not familiar with crustaceans. If I don't step in, Mr. Krabs might kill the guppy. I gently move in with a wooden stick and try to separate them. Carefully, slowly, and luckily it works. For now at least. The next day, Mr. Krabs is out and about again. He looks healthy, active, and honestly, kind of happy. But seeing him next to the bigger fish in the tank, you realize just how small these little crustaceans really are. Will they thrive in the 63-gallon ecosystem? Only time will tell. Subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to find out what happens next to Mr. Krabs and Larry the Lobster.